I'm just wondering how you're doing as a Dallas Cowboy fan, knowing that the Philadelphia Eagles are the class of the National Football League officially.
Well, it makes me want to vomit. I got to be honest. Am I happy with it?
Thanks for shooting. Thanks for shooting it straight.
Yeah, I love the honesty.
It bothers me, Rich. Okay.
Because guess what? That's what was decided last night. Who is the class of the National Football League? With all due respect to the San Francisco 49ers and the Detroit Lions, who I started Monday's show by saying they are in the mix for the 1 seed, and they still are. And also, with all due respect to the 8-win, still the only 8-win team in the AFC, Baltimore Ravens, and also the Dolphins, and anyone else that has Super Bowl aspirations this year, and there's a ton of teams in that regard. But the Philadelphia Eagles against the Kansas City Chiefs last night, a repeat of the Super Bowl, a rematch of the Super Bowl, and it was kind of a repeat. One team led by 10 points at the half and lost the game. And that's what happened last year in Arizona. The Eagles were the team that was up by 10, and they lost. And last night, the Kansas City Chiefs was up by 10 at the half and lost at home in the rain in a sloppy game. And the Chiefs were the ones who came out and dominated the trenches in the line of scrimmage in the first half. They had over 120 yards rushing. DeAndre Swift had one more rush yard at halftime than Jalen Hurts had passing yards. Only one catch for 8 yards for A.J. Brown in the first half, and that was the entirety of his output for the night.
Killing me.
And that's exactly what you want to do if you're taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Pick off Hurts. That's what the Chiefs did in the first half. Sack him 5 times. That's what the Chiefs did in the first half. Let DeAndre Swift get some yards, but have them empty calories. That's what the Chiefs did in the first half. Make sure A.J. Brown doesn't catch the ball. And the Philadelphia Eagles came out at halftime and took more licks from the Chiefs in the third quarter, but kept the Chiefs off the board in the third quarter, and that has become a disturbing trend for the Kansas City Chiefs, who were held scoreless for the third straight time in the second half. That's not supposed to happen to an Andy Reid Kansas City Chiefs offense, a Mahomes quarterbacked offense, certainly coming off a bye week, which is Andy Reid's strength. And the Eagles kept on ticking. And they scored a touchdown to make it a 3-point game. And they turned over Mahomes twice. They turned over the Chiefs twice in the second half, in the red zone twice. Once in the first half, picked off Mahomes. And in the second half, Travis Kelce knocked the ball loose, a little Peanut Tillman punch. And the Eagles got the ball back midway in the fourth quarter in front of everybody in Arrowhead and drove the ball down the field, and Hurts, who couldn't get anything going in the first 3 quarters, goes up top to Devontae Smith down to the 1-yard line. You know what's going to happen from there.
Oh, yeah.
The brotherly shove. And we heard from Chris Jones saying, I'm talking to people who play rugby for a living to try and figure out how to stop this thing. And the Eagles are like, okay, that's good to know.
Cool.
2 times it worked last night for Hurts to score. 2. And the Eagles just keep on doing what they do, which is not caring how it looks. I'm looking in the standings. They're 9-1 for the 5th time since 1966, right? There you go. And they are off to a remarkable start. And it's not pretty. And I looked at the standings this morning. You can look at them however you wish to look at them. There's no pictures on it. And they needed to win this game because there's a Lions sitting there at 8-2. And there's the San Francisco 49ers sitting there at 7-3. And the Lions have already beaten the Chiefs, and a major tiebreak in the order of things in the NFL. It's third up after head-to-head and division record. If you are a tiebreak in the division record, it's record against common opponents. And the Lions have already beaten the Chiefs, and the Eagles could have lost to the Chiefs, and here we go. But instead, man, they just come at you. Fletcher Cox, Jalen Carter, what a madman, trying to pick off a spike.
That's the craziest
and getting called for an offsides because he jumped this. And he almost damn near. I wish he had picked it off. How many interceptions are waved off due to an offsides? Many of them. Mm-hmm. How about an interception waved off to an offsides because it was a spiked ball? I've never seen that before in my life.
Do you know he said he saw high school kids on YouTube doing
Yeah,
that?
Why not?
That's where he saw it. Unbelievable.
Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis, Kevin Byard, first quarter gets burned in the back of an end zone. Fool him once, shame on him, and then fool him twice, shame on you, if that's the phrase. He picked off Mahomes in the end zone.
We can't get fooled again, Rich.
They did not get fooled
Only one,
again.
Shame on me.
And by the way, I mean, go ahead. Keep hitting them. They're not going anywhere.
Nah.
What a big-time Stones W for the Philadelphia Eagles. Certainly slaying their Reed Chiefs dragon. They'd never beaten Andy Reid. They were 0-4 against their former coach when they played him in Kansas City Red. And now there they are, 9-1. Good for them. Here is Nick Sirianni after the game about the message he delivered to his team.
The message was just, how are we going to do this? How are we going to come into a hostile environment, win a game on the road, a regular season game on the road against a really outstanding, against really outstanding players and really outstanding coaches? The only way to do that, we can't do that alone. We got to do that together. And that was the message. That was the message that we had all week: is how, play together. And man, and it really, it really showed itself tonight how together we were. Again, because that was just a gritty, whoever was going to win that game was going to win it gritty, grimy. It wasn't pretty on either side, right? And whoever was going to win that game was going to do it gritty, grimy, nasty, all those. What are those adjectives? Yeah, okay, thanks. I went to Mount Union, but it is a good school. But it was going to be that way, and the guys just stayed together and kept fighting and kept grinding it out, and we were able to come out on top.
And it's a good point about sticking together, because A.J. Brown at one point is got to be like, I've got 2 targets. It's halftime. I've got one pass.
Yep.
And then they come out for the first series in the second half, and they run it twice and then have a 3rd and 7 quarterback draw called up, and that gets snuffed out. And at one point in the first half, great shot from the ESPN crew of Hurts changing a play and Kelsey looking over his left shoulder and shaking his head. No, we're going this way.
Right, we're going
and
that
then
way.
they went that way, and Kelsey road graded for the first down for Hurts.
Yeah.
And, quarterback could come off, and the center could look at the quarterback and go, what are you doing?
Do you think that was by design? That's kind of what Troy said during the broadcast.
Who knows? But it's Philadelphia. They're the perfect personification of the town. Just like, I don't care what you think. I know better.
Right.
Go follow me. And then they could be bickering with one another. Absolutely could.
Yeah.
Well, they did at one point.
Well, and they were at one point, right? And so,
And it worked out for them.
but that's this team. And woe to you. Every single time you watch them, you think they're done. They're toast. Not after this game. Now, they're going to have to prove it again. Next up for them, Buffalo Bills at home, and also the San Francisco 49ers at home before they visit Dallas. Rubber meeting the road now, baby. Here we go. And then they're at Seattle. Things soften up with the Giants 2 out of 3 times wrapped around a home date from Arizona on New Year's Eve. But the next 3-4 weeks, rubber's meeting the road. We'll test it again. But, what a big-time W last night. What a Stones put it all out there on the table win for the Philadelphia Eagles. You got to give it up to them. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.